On the news this evening, police probe suicide of inspector assigned to former Rivers LG chairman. Rivers Administrator Ibas appeals to Christians to support peace-building mission. Stakeholder in Oyibo, Rivers State, Okpute, calls for state of emergency on flooding. Explosion kills 2 children in Kaduna State. On the foreign scene, Prince William, President Trump, others to attend late Pope Francis's funeral. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. Back. The River State Police Command says it is investigating the circumstances that led to the death of a police inspector, Maxwell Zabu, a security detail to former chairman of Port Harcourt local government area, Victor Ihuo, in the early hours of today. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringa Koko, said the Commissioner of Police, CP Olugbenga Adepoju, has directed that the case be transferred to the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, SCIID, Port Harcourt, for detailed investigation. It was gathered that Inspector Maxwell Zabu shot himself dead at the residence of Mr. Ihuo at Eagle Island in Port Harcourt. Away from that, River State Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, has appealed to the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, River State Chapter, to play a pivotal role in fostering peace, reconciliation, and stability in the state amid ongoing political and security challenges. Retired Vice Admiral Ibas said this when he met with the leadership of CAN at the Government House in Port Harcourt today. He expressed confidence that with CAN's support and divine guidance, River State would emerge stronger and more united.
Today, I call upon you once again, not just as administrator, but as a fellow Nigerian deeply concerned about the soul of our state. We need prayers, partnership, and prophetic voice of the church more than ever. I appeal to the CAN, I appeal to you here to continue preaching peace, not just from the pulpit, but in every household, village, and city across our dear state. I appeal to you to promote unity. I beg of you to counsel your congregants towards reconciliation, forgiveness, and mutual understanding.
In their response, the state chairman of CAN, Dr. D. Kala Dokubo, assured the administrator that the association would support him to achieve peace.
In John chapter 20, verse 19, he said, "Peace be unto you." That's the peace we want to have in River State. He came for an assignment, and I want to assure you, the Christians are behind you, will support you, whatever area you want us to participate, we will be with you. What we needed is peace. In every family where there are wranglings and fighting, there's no progress. River State is a very important state in the country. God has a purpose for what we're experiencing. We know that He's taking us to a better place.
In other news, the President General of the Movement for the Development of Oyibo, Ndoki, and Asa Ethnic Group, Dr. Victor Okpute, is urging the River State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, to declare the flooding situation in Oyibo a state of emergency. Okpute, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, said flooding in Oyibo local government area has become a major concern, with many residents displaced anytime it rains. He also urged the sole administrator to embark on an on-the-spot assessment to determine effective control measures that can help reduce the suffering of affected communities.
We, the people of Oyibo local government, we are calling on the sole administrator whose leadership of the state is in his hand right now. So please come to the aid of Oyibo local government people, especially the urban center. As we speak now, flood is stacking people already. So he should come to our aid and build drainage systems. Identify where he can build canals and build canals. These are not rocket sciences. This is what government can do, because the fact is people are going to relocate from their homes any moment from now as the rain phases. And
Dr. Okpute called for the establishment of structures that can serve as IDP camps for residents whose homes are completely submerged in flood.
This flood, when it rains persistently, sometimes it stays for 6 months before drying. That is where people have to relocate to, maybe Port Harcourt or nearby communities for safety. And they say there is a center for internally displaced persons in Oyibo here. That center is a school, and school have taken over the place. Last year, school said nobody should enter there. Believe me, there is no IDP camp for anybody to move into. So the state government, under the leadership of the sole administrator, will come to the aid of Oyibo people, so our people will have a sense of livelihood.
Meanwhile, concerns about the growing heaps of refuse in parts of Igruta, axis of Port Harcourt, have continued to linger, with the most recent bordering on offensive smell. Recall that in the past 5 weeks, business owners within the area have expressed worry over the health implications, increase in the number of flies which they say is affecting their businesses. Reiterating their worry, some residents told our correspondent that the odor is becoming unbearable. They expressed concern that the political instability in Rivers State has made it difficult for government agencies to come to their aid.
See the dirty, you worried. Even when you are passing, you hear the odor. When I'm crossing, I will change the direction for the side where the dirty no day.
The odor is something next to human health. It's something that somebody that is not from this state, once the person see it, the person will assume that is how River State looks like.
When footballer day, this thing not a day like this.
It brings a lot of flies, mosquitoes. In fact, the odor is too much to the extent that this thing is affecting people that is living close to the main road sides. And the night we don't used to sleep because there's a lot of mosquito. Government, they should do something about the dirty.
Before now, the people concerned always come before daybreak. They don't evacuate all the whole refuse from the road every day. This political crisis, now the whole contract job was just abandoned. Go to the gutter, all the paper, waterproof, everything. When vehicle pass, everyone move. And flies is one of the worst we have ever encountered because of the refuse. We're in trouble.
On his part, the Community Development Committee Chairman of Igruta, Mr. Terry Joe Olocha, appealed to the sole administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibokata Ibas, and the administrator of Ikwerre local government area, Christian Njobuowu, to urgently come to their rescue, adding that tenants are threatening to relocate.
The refuse waste littered all over Igruta, particularly from Igruta Central Roundabout down to Omuma, close to County Grammar School, Ikwerre, with its offensive odors. It's becoming a health hazard. Business have suffered a setback. Customers are not willing to withstand the odors. The sooner they come to our aid, the better. Landlords are not comfortable because their tenants are threatening to pack out as businesses are on the decline. My appeal is that evacuation of the waste by the relevant authorities should commence without hesitation.
Still to come, explosion kills 2 children in Kaduna State. Stay tuned. Some members of the leadership of National Union of Rivers State Students, NURSS, Nationals say they have suspended the national president of the union, Victory Amadi-led executive, and impeached the Senate president of NURSS, Peter Sai Chinedu, for alleged misconduct and the looting of the union's property at the National Secretariat. The Deputy Senate President of NURSS, Peter Godspa, who told newsmen that he was unanimously elected as the Senate President by senators during yesterday's sitting in Port Harcourt, explained the reasons for the decision. Mr. Godspa also said during their sitting, the Congress nominated and confirmed NURSS National Caretaker Committee headed by Dickson Senibor for the period of 6 months.
The impeached Senate President refused to do anything concerning the pressing issues at hand and have refused to call for sitting for 4 months now. So whereby the House senators have to pass a vote of no confidence on him, giving me the constitutional power to call for a sitting. The Senate came to a conclusion whereby we should impeach the Senate President for being inactive. Having the Senate dissolved the National Executive Council, the Congress has nominated and confirmed Dickson Senibor David as a caretaker of North National. He is now the acting president and therefore have the period of 6 months to conduct an election.
Some of the NURSS senators who said they endorsed the suspension of the North National Executive Council and impeachment of the North Senate president also gave their reasons.
We the senators, we move a motion and we dissolve the National Executive Council of the National Union of Rivers State Students, which involve looting of the secretariat. We the senators, because we have been fair to him, we did not impeach him, which the offense that he committed is an impeachable offense, but we did not impeach him. We decided to suspend the Executive Council in order for us to carry out an effective investigation into the affairs of the union.
I'm in support of the dissolving of the National Executive Council because we can't have such corrupt executives on seats while investigation will be ongoing. I'm also in support of the impeachment of the Senate President because he has refused to do anything concerning the looting and stealing of the vandalization of the National Secretariat.
The reason why the executive was dissolved is because due to their leader.
In the meantime, the newly appointed president of NURSS North National Caretaker Committee, Dickson Senibor, in his acceptance speech, promised to ensure that the union is not led astray again.
And I've been saddled with the responsibility to conduct a fresh election, having listened to the allegations, the immediate past executives, where the North National Secretariat equipment and electronics have been stolen by people that were saddled with the responsibility of leading students. The opportunities we are given for them to respond, if they are silent, it means it's consent. And so what we will do immediately is to write to the appropriate security agencies and the ministry to come and look at the building itself, because the building right now is like a crime scene. Take inventory of what is left of the building.
When contacted, the North National President Victory Amadi and the Senate President of North, Peter Sai Chinedu, who were said to have been suspended and impeached in an interview with correspondent Soibi Uruwari, urged the public to disregard such information. The Chief Executive Officer of Buchi Oil and Gas Services Limited, Josephat Atusiaka, has debunked a viral report linking the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to the ownership of Resto Park Nigeria Limited. The claim, which originated from Symphony News' Facebook page, alleged that Wike owns, amongst other things, Resto Park Oil and Gas Company. Speaking with our correspondent, Mr. Atusiaka described the report as entirely false and misleading. He clarified that the legitimate owner of Resto Park is Mr. Chris Okogu, a businessman from Delta State.
The CEO of Resto Park is my very good friend and my boss. So I want the people of Rivers State to not believe what they are seeing on the social media, that the property is owned by Ezebonwa Nyesom Wike, the former Rivers State governor. So anybody hearing my voice from this moment should not believe that. The whole people in oil and gas industry knows the rightful owner of Resto Park, the CEO, is Chris Okobo. He's never a Rivers man. He's from Delta State. Resto Park started from former Resto Park in Eromo Odumaya, 1999. Presently now it's a total free station, Eromo Odumaya.
A correspondent who reviewed the certified true copy of the Certificate of Incorporation from the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, confirmed that Resto Park Nigeria Limited was officially registered on March 11, 1999, with an amendment done on the file on January 13, 2006. On their part, the General Manager of Resto Park Nigeria Limited, Ezekiel Adole, And one of Resto Park's station managers, Nwokeneme George, also refuted the ownership claims, emphasizing that their reporting line is strictly to their CEO, Chris Okogu, and not the FCT minister or any government official.
Resto Park Oil and Gas, we have 4 stations in Rivers State here. One at Rumudara, the other one at Aba Road, that is Rumola. We have one at Elekaya and one at Ikoko. So I'm the one that managed 4 of them, and I don't report to Wiki. My MD, CEO, as I earlier said, is Christopher Okogu.
So the news flying around, we want to let the public know that the Resto Park filling station is being owned by Mr. Chris Okogu. He's not the former governor of Rivers State. Since I joined the company, I've not had anything to do with knowing any other person apart from my boss, who is Mr. Chris Okogu.
An explosion has killed 2 children in the Ababa area of Kaduna North local government area of Kaduna State. 3 other residents were also injured in the blast, which occurred adjacent to the old site of the Nigeria Defense Academy. The cause of the explosion is yet to be determined. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has announced the immediate reorganization of the mobile police force. The Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, in a statement said the directive, which was issued during a conference with PMF squadron commanders in Abuja, is aimed at boosting internal security and enhancing operational readiness. The PMF was established as the Nigeria Police Force's elite strike unit, designed to respond swiftly to riots, emergencies, and violent threats. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, says the government is committed to tackling insecurity in Benue and other parts of the country. Mr. Ribadu said this at the Benue State Government House in Makurdi. On the international scene, Prince William Charles at the funeral of the late Pope Francis, scheduled to hold this Saturday. U.S. President Donald Trump, Emmanuel Macron of France, and Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine have all indicated interest to attend the funeral. Pope Francis's funeral will take place at the Vatican on Saturday morning. Meanwhile, cardinals from around the world are expected to meet at the Sistine Chapel after 9 days of mourning to conduct a secret vote to elect the new pope. On the news this evening, you heard protests have continued in Port Harcourt over Governor Fubara's suspension. Stakeholders have reacted to the criticism of the Tinubu administration. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo has suspended a traditional ruler over kidnapping and killings in his domain. On the foreign scene, the Vatican said the funeral of late Pope Francis will be held on Saturday. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.
It's all talk and more talk on Nigerians' #1 talk station.